everyone, welcome to the Atman Show. And today's topic is 14 planets according to Vedic cosmology. And actually, you can see here Bhur this is the Earth planet. And the planetary system in which we are living is called Bhur. So this is called Bhur earthly planet. If you keep yourself in Rajo Guna, then you will keep within this Bhurloka. And if you are infected with Tamogena, then you are again going to the lower grade life, again, animal life, plant life. This is the nature's process. You cannot avoid it. This is the Bhumandala planetary system. It says it resembles a lotus flower in the shape of lotus flower, and the seven islands of Jambu Dwipa represents the whirl of the flower. Then the length and the breadth of that island is called Jambu Dwipa. So you can see here that these are the upper level of planets, and these are the lower level of planets. And this is how our Bhumandala looks like. And this is our, you can see this is the Bharatvarsha, and this is in the middle, it is called the Mount Meru. So going back to what are the higher level of planetary systems? So the Bhuvarloka is the higher level of planetary system.
Similar level or syntony are closer to each other, and the inhabitants can go from one to the other through interplanetary pathways. It's described, for example, that certain passages in the Himalayas connect our planet to the celestial planets, but only persons with a certain level of consciousness can access such passages. In the Mahabharata is described how Pandavas ascended to the place of Kuvera, the king of the Yakshas, through one of these pathways. For one that is able to cross these pathways, the other parts of Jambudvipa are just a walk away, and therefore the Srimad Bhagavatam describes these different interconnected fragments as a continuous area, which is exactly the perception of one that is traveling through them. Although, in your sense perception, these different parts of the structure are spread through different planets. For one that doesn't have the proper qualification, however, the pathways are invisible and he will be stuck on this planet. As a result, when he crosses the Himalayas, he goes to China instead of the celestial planets. The existence of connected objects that are far apart, as well as shortcuts that allow one to access places that are far away, may seem fantasious, but these ideas are also discussed in modern physics, with the phenomenon of quantum entanglement and the theory of the wormholes, for example.
So you can see here, this is the Bhuvarloka. And the demigods, semi-demigods, Gandharvas, Karnas, Vidyadharas, etc., are all highly intelligent persons in the upper planets. The human beings are inhabitants of the intermediate planets, and the asuras are the inhabitants of lower planets. While he was passing in the northern direction, all the celestial denizens known as Karnas and the Gandharvas, as well as the Munis and damsels of the heavenly planets, prayed and offered him all respects. The lower systems are called Bhurloka, the middle systems are called Bhuvarloka, and the higher planetary systems are Brahmaloka. The highest planetary system of the universe are called Swargaloka. The middle version of the sky is called Bhuvarloka and uh, Udharva means higher planetary systems. So finally, the beings in the upper planetary systems use their senses to perceive subtle reality. What is abstract for us becomes sense perceivable for them. For example, mathematical structures are abstract for us, but they become sense perceivable for them. Similarly, the forms in music are abstract for us, even though we can listen to the sounds, but these forms of music become sense perceivable. In short, even sense perception for higher being is different from our sense perception because they can see, touch, smell, and hear what we can only imagine or think. The living being in higher planetary systems thus enjoy subtle matter through mind, intelligence, ego, and moral sense. In the middle planetary system, the living being enjoy the sensation of macroscopic objects through their sense of knowledge and action. In the lower planetary system, there are life forms whose senses are far more developed to perceive the details in matter that our suns just cannot perceive. So, for example, like even on the present planet, there are species of lives which have a superior sense of smell, dogs or sights, eagles or sound bats. The things that we cannot sensually perceive can be perceived by these species. The ability to see atomic objects is therefore an advancement of sense perception due to which the things that our senses cannot see, the living being with advanced sensual capabilities are able to perceive. So, and the experiences of demons are high definition and their planets are more pleasurable. So basically, you can see that the demons, they live in the lower planetary systems. And so in the planet, for example, in the planet Atala, the yawning of a demon has produced three kinds of women called Swarini, in Kamini, and uh, Pamskali. So in Atala, there are demons, the son of Maya Danava named Bala, who created 96 kinds of mystic power, some so called yogis and swamis. If a man enters the planet of Atala, these women immediately capture him and induce him to drink an intoxicating beverage made with a drug known as Hataka, the intoxicant enjoyment. Below Atala is the Vitala, where Lord Shiva and wife Gauri reside. Because of their presence, a kind of gold is produced called Hataka. So, and you can see that the other, like this Bila Swarga. Bila Swarga is known as the heavenly subterranean, which is the higher planets. So, the heavenly places of enjoyment are divided into three groups: the celestial heavenly planets, the heavenly places on earth, and the Bila heavenly places, which are found in the lower regions. Among these three classes of heavenly places are Bhuma, Swarga, Padani. The heavenly places on earth are the eight Varshas other than Bharat Varshas. So, for example, we have Swargalokai as one of the higher planets. The karmis or fruitative workers can elevate themselves to the Swargaloka planets, which include the sun and the moon. The sun and higher planets are called Swargaloka. There are three different status of planets: high, middle, and lower planetary system. The Earth belongs to the middle planetary system. In the word Swargyasa, Swar refers to Swargaloka, the heavenly planet, and Swarajya refers to the ruler of the heavenly planet Indra. The denizens of heavenly heavens who live in planetary system beginning from Sarvluka, cannot even see Vishnu in the Swadeepa. Unable to reach the island, they can simply approach the ocean to offer transcendental prayer to Lord. At the end of Lord Brahma's day, everything up to Swargloka is inundated with water, and next morning, when there is darkness in the universe, Brahma again brings the phenomenal manifestation existence. Therefore, he is described here as who manifests the universe. The demigods are too more advanced than the humans because they have a direct understanding of mind, intelligence, ego, and mahatva. They don't have to write music on papers. They don't have to publish their knowledge in academic journals. They don't need a TV and telephone to talk at great distance. And they don't need museums to record their history. When the mind is more advanced, it can perceive meanings across greater distance and times. It sees abstract objects like we see things, and it is able to find truth because it perceives abstraction like we see objects. The modern civilization is trying to emulate the demigods by using telescopes that can see at a greater distance and the demons by creating microscopes that can see the details. When you depend on such implements, you must translate everything into the perception of sense and pleasure from the perception is limited to that achievable from coarse grained sense. Although we gather information about the universe or measure the properties of atomic objects, though sometimes we claim to have become advanced by creating technology, the fact is that we still see macroscopic objects as we did before. The pleasure from objects remains unchanged. Relative to abstract enjoyments of the demigods and detailed pleasure of the demons, we are stuck with pleasure of macroscopic objects. The pleasure itself isn't great no matter how we refine it. The advancement of human society is trying to stretch the limits of our experience by going above and below the normal earthly experience. But since the advancement is not accompanied by corresponding development of mind, intelligent ego, moralities, or even the five senses of perception, it delivers only the pleasure that would be obtained even without such advancement. With all the materialistic advancement, we barely scratch the surface of the pleasure that demons and demigods have. But this is enough to dramatically intensify our attachment to the matter. The earthly planet system is the best place in the universe because the pleasures are so ordinary that we can easily renounce them and develop a true understanding of the reality that lies uh, that lies beyond these phenomena. Modern civilization, on other hand, is trying to stretch the limit of phenomena themselves. The great purpose of self and God realization that can be attained in the human life is thus being squandered in activities which will never attain the levels of pleasure usually obtainable in planetary system, although it will take away the precious human opportunity to end the cycle of material birth and death, suffering and pleasure. The pleasure of the sense is not the happiness of the soul. The sense pleasure is created when the stress created by Maya is relieved by uniting the objects created by karma. When karma is finished, the stress returns. The real happiness is the results of innate properties of the soul, which are manifest when the soul comes out of material universe and becomes the part of God's conscious experience. The experience of demons are high definition and their planets are more pleasurable. So the intelligence of such beings is like a lie detector which can judge the truth of meanings based on the minor changes to blood pressure and heart rate. They have more refined sense of morality and are able to judge right and wrong better than humans on the earthly planetary systems. The demons are influenced by these modes, and therefore their superior and inferior status is only a reflection of the relative portion of the modes and material in advancements. All right. So basically, and as also said that the Mount Meru, you can see here as in this slide, as and when we rise up in the higher consciousness, we can travel through this Mount Meru um, in different planets as well.
Similarly, the moon is described in the Vedas as a celestial planet where pious souls can live in great delight for 10,000 years. In our gross dimension, however, the moon appears as just a lifeless piece of rock. This leads us to the concept of vertical dimension explained in the Vedas. Suppose you want to visit an office in the 98th floor of a prestigious building in Manhattan. You take a taxi and you go to the ground floor of the building. You went to the right place on the horizontal dimension, but to reach the office, you need to also travel in the vertical dimension, taking a lift or the stairs, going up until you reach the 98th floor. If somehow your credentials don't allow you to go up, then you will be stuck in the lobby. Similarly, even if one is able to go to the moon, without the proper consciousness, he will not be able to travel in the vertical dimension, and will therefore be stuck in the representation of the moon in our gross dimension, which is not so interesting. If one wants to access the celestial moon, he will need to travel by elevating his consciousness and transferring oneself there at the time of death. In this way, he will be able to accept a celestial body with a proper set of senses to interact with the inhabitants there.
All right, it was a short session. Hope you were knowledge and have a nice day, everyone. Bye.